Hey, welcome to Facts at Five. I'm Michael Clark. I'm here at the LTV studios in Wainscott, New York. And my guest today is the town supervisor, Peter Van Scoyoc. Welcome, Peter.
Good afternoon, Michael. Looks like you're in a law office.
No,
All
that's
those
a-
books in the background.
yeah, all those fake books in the background. How you had a good holiday? Everything's good. Family's good.
Yeah, everybody's doing well. Thankfully, we're very fortunate and blessed. Everybody's healthy. We're actually able to gather together. Everybody went into quarantine and did the negative tests and everything, following all the safety protocols, and came out the other side able to have Christmas together.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, we just did a immediate family also, and just me and the Queen on New Year's Eve. That's it. That's what we're doing, on New Year's Eve. So, what's going on with COVID? And well, I guess it all kind of ties together, right? We got COVID and its impact on New Year's Eve. So, what are your thoughts in that direction, Peter?
Well, it's been really difficult lately. Frankly, we're in a position where the virus is really expanding exponentially. The number of cases countywide, we were below 1% positive only, maybe 6-7 weeks ago. And now it's hovering between 8 and 9% of all people tested are shown to be positive with COVID. And here in East Hampton, our numbers have really risen since the holidays started. Really since Halloween, we noticed a spike.
Right.
We had a single day report of 44 positives just this past week, the day after Christmas.
Wow.
So in the last 3 weeks, we've had as many cases as we had the first 32 weeks. So, while we have managed to stay, off the radar for this thing, it is now here. And I think part of it is people are just tired. They're tired of being separated from each other. And, small gatherings seem to be the 70% of the cases are coming from that.
Right.
Called living room spread. It's going to become more and more dangerous to people. We really have to, change back to the way we were, in terms of being careful, wearing a mask and just not gathering for a while. The vaccine is here. It's being rolled out. Frontline healthcare workers are getting the vaccine now. The protocols and the procedures for inoculating the rest of the population are being formulated and put out. And we'll be letting the public know, as soon as it's available and to what groups can get inoculated first. But, we're right on the cusp of beating this thing. And so we really, for the next, I would say 6 to 8 weeks, we just have to hunker down and stick it out. I know it's really difficult for folks, but that's what we need to do right now.
Yeah, and you're right, Peter. Absolutely, we got to wear the mask and follow all those real basic things that you've been saying since the very beginning. I think that people in general have been pretty good about in the town of East Hampton for sure. But even here, as you know, we're closed to the public. We're still operating, but we're close to the public. We got our own little pod going here, and I'm getting calls on a daily basis. Oh, when are you going to open up? We can start doing our studio shows again, and those type of things. And I'm like, it's not right around the corner. It's off in the distance. I can kind of see it, but we got to stay the course, and that's really been, I guess, the marching orders for 2020, right? And
Right.
and then when you think about 2020, and they think about put the past year in focus, as people usually do this time of year. The first thing that obviously comes to mind is COVID-19, as you just spoke about, and it's obviously had an undeniable impact on everyone's life. And then, the second thing I think is, if you had to name a couple of things, it would be the insanity of the presidential race, right? Those couple of things. And both of them are still hanging around and probably will be for a few months. And, but you know, a lot of other good things have happened. A lot of really, really great things have happened. And I think the local papers are bringing up some of that. Both the press and the Star, all papers are kind of pointing out the people that have been heroes. And what comes to your mind, Peter, when you think about, besides COVID-19 and politics, what's jumped out at you in our little town for the year 2020?
Well, I mean, so much of what we've been focused on, in town government has really been COVID related, and responding to this emergency and developing, new protocols and procedures for operation and all the changes and trying to keep the public safe and informed really has been all consuming, but we have managed to get some other things done. That is my job. That is the job of government. I think what I'm really proud of is all of those folks that it's not their job and they stepped up and volunteered and came together as community and really, made all the difference in the world, because as much as we try to keep people safe or whatever it is, and try to promote the reopening of our businesses and whatnot, it's our community working with us to get that done. And that's what I'm most proud of, I think. But, there've been a lot of accomplishments outside of just dealing with the COVID crisis. We've have a number of water quality projects that are funded and underway. Whether it's septic upgrades and grants, or Montauk wastewater map and plan for a sewer districts underway. We have a number of land purchases that were very important this year. We've had infrastructure, emergency communications upgrades are almost complete now throughout the town. That 800 system is going to be operational. We've had the parking lots in Amagansett and Town Hall reconfigured and expanded. The head of the harbor bulkhead replacement and town docks refurbished. We've moved forward on the rezoning for the hospital ER at Pantago, affordable housing. We've had a number of land purchases and are planning for the future, number of projects working towards affordable housing overlay district creation. That hasn't been done in, well over a decade since the last one, maybe even 2 decades since the last affordable housing overlay was put in place. We adopted the Hamlet studies this year. We're working on leaf blower legislation, coastal planning. The coastal assessment and resiliency session's been ongoing. We're expecting early this next year, Fire Island to Montauk Point Army Corps project to begin letting of the contracts and actual construction as soon as probably September, October of 21. Second house in Montauk, historical preservation. That building, the outside is completely restored. We're working on phase 3, which is the interior. Looking at, which is in need of an update, Springs Library. Same thing, 2 other historic buildings in need of renovation. On the energy and sustainability front, we've had a number of firsts. We're the first community in New York State to have a solar roof battery storage on our town buildings. That's underway. The Parks and Rec building. That's no cost to the town. We were able to leverage grants to do that project. That will save us something like over $10,000 in electric just in that location alone. We're saving $80,000 a year just on our LED lighting upgrades. We had 4 more facilities this year were upgraded to LED lighting. Of course, there's the South Fork Wind Farm, HCA. The host community agreement's been negotiated. We're having a public session to take public comment on January 12th, after which, I expect that we'll sign those agreements, and that results in nearly $29 million of payments over 25 years to the town for the transmission cable to be routed up Beach Lane. All that money will be dedicated towards furthering our renewable energy and sustainability and environmental projects within the town. Through the pandemic, we were actually able to maintain our AAA bond rating. Many other towns are struggling financially. We were able to weather some of the revenue shortfalls because of our healthy fund balances.
Right.
We started our public education and communication outreach using multiple social media platforms. And obviously LTV has been a huge part of our communications as well. And you guys have really stepped it up this year. I know done so much more in these difficult times to keep the people informed. And you've been so helpful in getting the crawlers out on the bottom of the screen and whatnot when we had information to put out. So yeah, there's been a lot going on, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces there, Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you know, and it all boils down to one thing, I guess, and you kind of touched on this. It's really about the people. You know, we have such a variety. You know, there's such diversity culturally, first of all, out here, and you know, secondly, then you know the people coming, you know, seasonal folks, and there's so much, and sometimes people are complaining about it, and we all do, I guess, at some point. But I think that's what makes us strong. You know, there's so many different opinions, and we listen and we get it. You know, it's very hard, you know, kind of going back to COVID just for a little second here, that, you know, there was all that turmoil at the beginning, and it kind of became fluid very quickly. And, you know, thanks to the leadership in the town, we appreciate that. But it really is the people, and the people buying in and just doing it. You know, like Morgan and I were talking about this yesterday, that, you know, there was a time where I went into the store and forgot my mask. And, you know, it's almost like you would rather walk in there without your pants than without your mask on, because you feel so terrible. But, you know, sometimes you get out of your car and you run and you're like, oh, you got to run back to your car and get your mask. And it's just natural now. It just seems to be natural. At some point we'll be away from that, I hope, at some point. And but it really is a credit to the people of the East End. I think, you know, the last day of the year here, we'll be able to, you know, or first day of the year here, we'll be able to, you know, see and say that, looking back, saying, wow, you know, no matter where it goes, and we did a pretty good job in the town of East Hampton in 2020, I think. We have to close it out, Peter, but any final words for you?
Well, you know, we've made it through to this point due to everybody coming together and helping out. And it's really been an amazing and difficult, obviously, times that we've had. But this is not the time to let up.
Right.
I think it's good to reflect and say, this is great. We've made it through to this point, but we need to focus now in the new year on how to get through to the point where everybody's vaccinated and we finally beat this disease and can start to resume some sense of normalcy in our lives. And so let's keep the focus on staying safe and keeping everybody healthy for as long as we can until we get this vaccine.
Absolutely.
I wish everybody the best in the new year. Somebody was saying that nobody's going to be accidentally writing 2020 on their checks in the new year for the date. But
they're done.
It's done. 2020 is over.
Yeah, it is over. And well, and you know, best of luck to you, Peter, in the new year. And I hope you'll continue to come on the show and share with us all the good things that are going on in the town. So happy New Year to you and your family and everybody there in the town. And we thank you for all you do too as well. So thank you, folks. Thanks for tuning in today, and happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thanks, Michael.